What's up, guys, and welcome to my Village Talk. My name is Dr. Chanelle Ramsubick. I am a medical doctor, a psychiatrist, a mental health advocate, and I am currently living in beautiful Manhattan, New York. I am doing amazing today. Look at these curls, okay? I'm so excited because I've been invited by my friends at the Villij to bring you mental health information that is simple, useful, and geared at improving your overall sense of balance and wellness. Today is a very special talk for me because I'll be speaking about Black women and mental health, two topics that are extremely dear to my heart. So, how many of you have felt some pressure to constantly be strong and to maybe hide your feelings and then to put other people's needs before your own? So what I've realized is that this behavior is actually very common amongst some of my Black female friends. And I've even seen this pattern within some of the Black women in my own family. I really did see this a lot growing up. Today, I'm going to be speaking about the strong Black female narrative. Basically, it's the idea that to be a Black woman, you need to be completely selfless. You need to be unbreakable despite having to endure all this continuous abuse and hardship. So why are these traits so common amongst the Black women that I know? Where does the idea that to be a strong Black female, you need to basically be a superwoman, superhuman, where does that stem from? Well, of course, aspects of our personality develop as a reaction to our own experiences and our own treatment in society. So if you know that there's a chance that you may experience some sort of racism, sexism, homophobia, maybe even transphobia on a daily basis, it makes sense that you would want to protect yourself with some form of shield, some form of armor, just in case abuse comes your way. Life can be very hard for a Black woman, particularly those who are a part of marginalized communities like the LGBTQ community, or being a part of a lower socioeconomic status, maybe even being an immigrant. I mean, of course, the list goes on. So some common examples of daily trauma that we as Black women endure is, for example, at work, never seeing yourself represented in positions of power, and then feeling the pressure to work twice as hard to get half as far. What about code switching to make other people at work feel comfortable? What about being told that your hair looks better when it's straight, and that your natural hair might look unkept? What about having beautiful Black features, but constantly being compared to Eurocentric beauty standards? What about coming out to your friends and your family, your close friends and your family, about being queer, and then seeing their disappointed reactions because of their homophobic ideas, their homophobic views? What about being told that you're too angry because you stand up for yourself when you receive that abuse? So, you may have adopted the strong Black female narrative maybe as a reaction to constant oppression, constant discrimination. But you also may have learned this from family members growing up. Because aspects of our personality can actually be passed down from your family lineage. And this happens in the form of intergenerational transmission of trauma. How many of your grandmothers, your mothers, your sisters, and your aunts also adopted the strong Black female narrative? Well, let me tell you, it's not by chance that you're acting in the same way. You may be modeling a behavior that you saw early on in life. You may have seen your grandmother making sure that everyone was taken care of before herself. Or maybe you never actually saw your mother be vulnerable about her emotions and how she's been feeling. So you also may have inherited the genes that make you predisposed to anticipating the worst from a situation, or maybe experiencing normal reactions as a threat. All of these hardships put pressure on Black women to be strong all the time, basically in anticipation for the next adversity. But does the strong Black female narrative actually protect our mental health? Does it actually protect our physical health from all the hardships and discrimination? Or could we be harming ourselves? Well, society has some pretty toxic ideas of what it means to be strong. Apparently, to be strong, you can't show any weakness. You never actually ask for help when you're strong because you can take it on yourself. You never say no because you're always available for others. When someone disrespects you, you are able to tell them off with complete composure, never losing your cool. But that's not actually what strength is. Your strength stems from your ability to step into and claim your unique Black genius. And of course, your strength stems from your own intrinsic value as a human being. Your strength does not come from behaving in a way where you're constantly on guard for some sort of threat to come your way. Why aren't we able to be honest about feeling distressed or overwhelmed? Why do we feel this pressure to pretend like we're immune to this pain, we're immune to hurt? If Black women aren't able to be vulnerable about suffering from trauma, anxiety, depression, even substance abuse, domestic violence, even exploitation, then it's very unlikely that we will get the treatment that we need. Also, if we have this belief that you need to be emotionally strong all the time, then you might not even know that you need help. You may think that this suffering is just a part of life that everyone goes through. And this might be why Black women have one of the highest rates of depression and anxiety, yet they are notoriously underdiagnosed and undertreated in mental health care. What about the belief that you need to be selfless? Who is guilty of always making plans and showing up for other people when you're actually feeling completely exhausted and drained? What about constantly accommodating other people's needs because you're fearful of disappointing them in some way? When you get sucked into everyone's problems and feeling responsible for solving their issues before your own, well, ultimately, suppressing your desires for the benefit of others. So who's taking care of you, sis? Who's checking to see if you're good? Well, the answer should really be yourself. But if you're constantly neglecting yourself and putting other people first, this will have serious consequences on your overall physical and mental health. You need to be doing some self-care and incorporating daily restorative practices that are just for you. It's your time to really spend however you want, though. May I suggest, though, resting and protecting your energy because you are valuable and you are worthy of it. But when we hide our suffering and put ourselves third, fourth, fifth down the priority list, the world will respond by believing that we can handle it all. And guess what? They're gonna start loading on more because, hey, look at her, she's doing good, she can handle it. When in reality, you can't. Black women deserve to live in a world where they can finally take off their armor, take off their shields, and focus on their own desires. And that is why we need to normalize talking about emotions. We need to celebrate it when a woman goes out of her way to ask for help. And we need to encourage our sisters and our mothers and our beautiful grandmothers to practice self-care. I'll leave you with one of my favorite quotes by Audre Lorde. Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It's self-preservation. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining me today. This was really a very important topic for me because, listen, I'm in recovery from being that strong Black female. So let's continue this discussion in the Villij forum. Which part of this conversation resonated with you. I would love to know. Tell me, how did you show strength by asking for help when you needed it this week? How are you really feeling today? Have you had to show strength even when you were maybe feeling hurt and in pain or feeling exhausted? Honestly, I can't wait to see some of your ideas. Be blessed, sisters.